The first coach in the Gregg Popovich era to get axed was Brian Winters on January 24, 1997. He lost 100 games faster than anyone in history, a byproduct of overseeing the Vancouver Grizzlies in their expansion season, 1995-96, and into 43 games of 96-97. The most recent to lose his job was Tyronn Lue on October 28, 2018 after Cleveland's 0-6 start. This was more of a head-scratcher as he's the only coach to win a title with the Cavs. Perhaps his biggest crime was failing to give LeBron James the wrong directions to Cleveland Hopkins Airport last summer. In that span, 245 NBA coaching changes were made in Popovich's time in San Antonio. Some of them have been understandable, others questionable, in all a spinning wheel that managed to eject all from the first seat on the bench, except one. In the wake of yet another coaching switch, it's fair to wonder, how and when will it end for Popovich in San Antonio? He's closer to the finish line than the starting line, but the finish line keeps moving. Any notion of Popovich vanishing once Tim Duncan, Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili left the organization died when training camp began. Any thought of Popovich turning sour from the organization's lethal relationship last year with Kawhi Leonard was dismissed when Popovich enthusiastically prepared himself for his 23rd NBA season. And all ideas of Popovich permanently drifting to one of San Antonio's relaxing 18-hole courses as he approaches his 7th decade on the planet should be shattered with a Big Bertha driver. "I don't golf," he said. "What a waste of time. I'd rather read a book. You could be doing a lot of other things." Like, keep coaching. "I still enjoy this," he said, before deadpanning, "but I don't know how to do anything else." He has survived this long because he wins. With 1,201 victories and counting, he's climbing toward Don Nelson's career record of 1,335. With a straight face, Popovich says my ass would have been gone a long time ago, if not for great success that he constantly credits to Duncan, among others. But there's another factor in play that keeps Popovich in control of his destiny and fate. He has rarely, if ever, had to answer to anyone in the Spurs organization, now controlled by Juliana Holt, who keeps away from the basketball operation. Almost from the jump, Popovich ruled the empire, and that has separated him from others who have won just as many, or more, than his 5 championships. It's a unique setup enjoyed by almost no one in professional sports, which are often controlled by owners who act on a whim. Phil Jackson, 11 titles, left 2 organizations, including the Los Angeles Lakers twice, not totally on his own. Pat Riley had a prickly departure from the Lakers after winning 4 of his 5 career titles there. In both cases, the lines were clearly drawn. Neither Jackson nor Riley, despite steering their teams to historical runs, carried the strongest voice in the building. Neither had tenure or were immune from the type of sports diseases that can fracture even dynasties and shove great coaches out the door. When he greased the Showtime era in Los Angeles, Riley had the biggest coaching profile since Red Auerbach and his signature Victory cigars. Riley was charismatic, cool and changed the coaching culture. But inside was a gym rat and a clipboard scribbler. He released the leash on the fast break and made the Lakers intoxicating. He smooth-talked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar into taking a reduced role as age began to weather the Hall of Famer. However, the core Lakers eventually grew weary of Riley's techniques and motivational tricks. When the Lakers were upset by the Phoenix Suns in the 1990 Western Conference semifinals, Riley heard the increased volume and split. Jackson's relationship with Bulls GM Jerry Krause showed decay early in the Bulls' run for a sixth and final championship in 1997-98. Theirs was a clash of egos and ideas. That, and a demand by Jackson for more money, led to a Bulls breakup. In the early 2000s, Jackson restored the Lakers franchise as they became the biggest rival for Popovich's Spurs in that decade. But the chore of coaxing two high-maintenance young stars, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, beat up Jackson and led to his first exit. His second stint with the Lakers ended mainly over money, among other issues. That's all foreign to Popovich, who had the benefit of taking over a team with David Robinson, the gentlemanly all-star who gave no gruff. And then, blessed by the basketball gods, Popovich landed Duncan, the most no-frills superstar the game has ever seen. Duncan set the tone in the locker room for professionalism, conduct and work ethic. Everyone followed, something that's lasted for almost 2 decades, all while making Popovich's life easier, for which Popovich is forever grateful. Duncan also drastically changed the lives of 2 men. When Popovich stepped down from his GM role on December 10, 1996, taking the coaching job from Bob Hill after a 3-15 start, he went 17-47. That is his only losing season to date, and the Spurs fell into the draft lottery. There were whispers at the time, blasphemy nowadays, that he might not see another season in San Antonio. In 1997, the Boston Celtics had better odds of winning draft lottery and its grand prize, a bank shot shooting center from Wake Forest, via the Virgin Islands, who could transform a franchise. Had the Celtics gotten the number 1 pick, perhaps Rick Pitino would still be coaching in the NBA instead of lobbying for a return. As much as Popovich heaps praise on Duncan, there's no denying Popovich's role in 21 straight years of playoff trips and his own coaching immortality. The way he runs an organization envied by many helps find talent with low draft picks. Ginobili was taken 57th overall, Parker at no. 28, generates respect from players and rivals, LeBron James, among others, and is a San Antonio landmark, along with the Alamo, is no accident. If Popovich can't control his fate, then no one in his profession ever will. Besides, under what circumstances would Popovich be forced out? Even if it's his call, how will this end? He turns 70 in January, although the only time he ages is when a referee's whistle doesn't blow his way. He survived Leonard, the only documented sign of rebellion by a Spurs star. And the Spurs, despite losing Dejounte Murray for the season to a knee injury, might keep their playoff streak alive with Demar DeRozan blending well with new teammates. It's San Antonio, okay? The faces have changed, but the standards are the same, and the way do things are the same, Popovich said. We're going to expect the guys to do their jobs on and off the court. None of that's going to change. The way we want to approach the game and have the respect for the game is all the same, just with different people. Asked about the Murray injury and other non-Spurs-like issues, he adds, maybe we deserve a little bad luck. We got to draft Tim Duncan 20 years ago. So, a little misfortune. We deserve it. coaching changes since December 1996. In 2 years, Popovich assumes control of the U.S. Olympic basketball team. That could satisfy his urge to coach without the 82-game grind and free up time to pursue other stuff. But who knows? Being a wine consultant going from vineyard to vineyard, or a restaurant critic going from restaurant to restaurant, that would be more fun, for sure, Popovich said. The 1996-97 season was bloody for the profession. 7 teams, including the Spurs, changed coaches in season. The Washington Bullets, now Wizards, had 3 coaches that season. And, in fact, Bernie Bickerstaff held 2 jobs that season, resigning as Denver's coach in November and was later hired by Washington in February. Cotton Fitzsimmons lasted 8 games with the Phoenix Suns. Only one new coach that season lasted more than 2 decades. Since Popovich's debut, the Utah Jazz have had the fewest coaching changes, 2, while the Grizzlies and Wizards have been on the other extreme, 13 each. The Dallas Mavericks' Rick Carlisle and the Miami Heat's Erik Spoelstra own the longest tenure after Popovich, 10 years each. We'll never see another like him in our lifetime. He's a coach who gets results on the court, respect in the locker room, and no orders from above. Good luck finding another combination like that. The 245 coaching changes are not a number Popovich particularly likes because he sticks up for the profession, and it's not a number that he'll head to anytime soon, if he has any say. Which he does. I'm a simple untalented man, he said. This is all I can do. I'd better stick with it.